Stitch the jugular. All of your blood will be on the floor in 4 minutes.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
DJANGO. The D is silent.
Get in my belly!
It's the Al Travis Show. We've got him on with us. He's Jack Zimmerman. Jack, how are you today?
Good, Al. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, no complaints. It's was a busy weekend with a lot of stuff I really want to talk with you about. But on a side note, if you're okay with that, side note it real quick. We used to talk a lot of NASCAR.
Oh, yeah.
And this Tyler Reddick, who is now working for Michael Jordan, right, came out of the gates pretty hot, won the Indianapolis 500, has now won the next two events, so he has won 3 straight. The first 3, it's never happened before in NASCAR. NASCAR's been doing this thing for what, like 200 years?
Yeah.
First time ever. Your thoughts on anybody being able to pull that off?
Man, he's got something figured out, but the thing that makes me wonder what's going on is, Denny Hamlin's part owner of that team, Al. That technology coming from Joe Gibbs, doesn't seem like it, because Joe Gibbs would probably be up there. So how does Denny keep that secret? They got something figured out there in that hot rod, between his 23 team and or 45-23 team and Joe Gibbs. How they keep that separate?
Well, I know this, it probably shouldn't be, but does it lead you to think that possibly there's a little cheating going on? Because you say all these cars are the same.
I think they found a gray area in the rule book, and they found
a gray area
somewhere. And everything's open for interpretation, right, Al?
Well, and that's kind of NASCAR's way. But it just seems so weird that somebody could pull off that so quickly in NASCAR today. Anyway, I just wanted your thoughts. That we used to talk about that all the time. So,
and that's such an American thing to say too. A guy wins 3 in a row, he's got to be cheating.
Well, it is NASCAR. Come on. All right.
You ain't cheating. You ain't trying.
Well, that's kind of that's their whole thing. So yeah. All right. If anyone was offended because I said he might have cheated, I'm sorry. Not really, but it's kind of could be true. All right.
Not sorry.
Bigger news this weekend, of course, what happened now in Iran. For folks who don't know, you were over in Afghanistan. How many tours?
Yeah, it was on my first tour that I was wounded 9 months in, and actually a week from today, Al, will be my Alive Day.
Oh, wow.
That'd be 15 years ago, March 9th, that I was wounded, yeah.
So you get asked to go to a war, which even afterwards now, I don't know if a lot of us can tell you why or what we got out of it and that sort of thing. What you got out of it was the missing of 2 legs, an arm, you almost died, a lot of fingers munched up. Years of recovery.
Yeah.
That's what you got out of it. When you see what we saw this weekend, I presume you watched it, and maybe I shouldn't presume that. Did you sit down, hunker down, and watch all that was going on this weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty locked in, Al. It's I don't think that a lot of people even realize the significance of what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. For people that don't know that, Iran is smack dab between Iraq and Afghanistan. And it's been known that the IED that I stepped on, the initiator from it was an Iranian tow mine. So they were, using their weapons against U.S., military in Iraq and Afghanistan. And they have a lot of U.S. blood on their hands alone right there,
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So it kicks underway. And again, I think we have figured out a lot of stuff. This epic fury, I think that was what I called it. The idea that we go in there with such massive, overpowering ways is got to be the way to do it. I presume you would be quite scared any ground troops ever show up there.
Yeah, I think that the military has changed a lot since I was in it. the way that we're doing things now and the way that we're able, the capabilities that we have advanced so far since even when I was in the military. I mean, if you look at the way that Venezuela was conducted down there, the operation that went on down there, and now I don't know if it's true or not, but our intelligence agency basically fooled their top command all to go into one place at one time and drop the bomb, and killed everybody in one shot, basically through a fake email. They thought everybody was supposed to show up in one place. I mean, using that kind of intelligence and being able to execute the missions that we're able to execute now, it's just incredible. And not only is it great to see, if we're gonna go do this stuff, the guys working at the highest level, but it's also a signal to the world that we haven't just been sitting back waiting, for something to happen. We've been building this entire time.
Let's take a second, if we can, and talk about Israel.
Yeah.
That country scares the bejesus out of me. So what was it, 2-3 years ago, they convinced all these Iranians that they needed to get their pagers. And it had to come from this company. Oh, they happen to own the company. Oh, they happen to figure out how to put bombs inside the pagers. And they convinced all these knuckleheads to use it. And I'm like, that might be the greatest espionage thing, since 007 I've ever heard of. Now you bring up the idea that they have the intelligence enough to know that the top 50 folks are all getting together for brunch or something at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning and know where they're going to be and take them out.
No,
that's some scary stuff.
I think you misunderstood that. Some intelligence agencies sent everybody an email telling them to meet up at the same time. So they called the meeting. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's even worse.
The one that called the meeting and they went, oh, I got an email from so-and-so saying I got to be here at this time. I'm going to show up. And so it all came from, basically us saying meet here, and then you drop the bomb when they all get there.
All right. That's even scarier, Jack. That even makes Israel and their intelligence that much scarier. I just hate to say it. That is absolutely, because you know what? We all get phishing emails and stuff, and the language isn't exactly quite right, or the tense isn't right, and you're like, yeah, what am I doing? If you're one of the head guys, you just get an email and like, oh, I guess we're all showing up. I mean, that, you know what I'm saying? That is just off the charts.
And are you going to tell your boss I'm not coming? You know what I mean? Like, no, if you can up your boss saying show up at this time in this place with everything that's going on, you're going to be there,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you would think, I guess y'all, that there's some better stuff between them. Like, I don't know what our command people do, but I presume it's just not, oh, I got an email from Gmail. You know what I'm saying? It's scary. So that being said, they start off Epic Fury with just this massive, unbelievable downpour on, I think it was 1,000 targets, or up to almost 2,000 today, of the infrastructure of Iran. When I'm watching it, I don't know, I'm still deciding, should we have been there, should we not? You start hearing things like they were planning on a first attack with us. Maybe that's true, maybe not. I don't have any idea. But they go in there, and I love the idea that if we can if we're going to do this, do it without people on the ground. But now I'm in the impression we have 3 deaths, 5 people hurt really badly. I also saw something where 2 of our planes end up getting hit as well, not necessarily by the bad guys, friendly fire. I don't want any of that for our people. Is this justified in your thoughts, Jack? I mean, you know what the price you pay.
Yeah. I know that we have the greatest fighting force in the world, and we always seem to find ourselves as the world police. I just hope that we have a plan, an exit strategy of how this is going to go through, how we see it through. I'm extremely happy for the people of Iran that feel like they're being liberated, and they're going to get back to a way of life of having some democracy and freedom. I just don't want to see any lives lost on our side. I think this morning that we've lost 4 guys now.
All right.
It's and guys are getting wounded, and it's nothing you ever want to see. It's horrible, but when the president says, this is what we got to do, you have no problem getting up and going and doing it.
Let me ask you this. When the president comes out and says, he said before we found out about the first three, we're at 4, I think you said, he said there's going to probably be more. This is war. I was reading some of my friends' emails talking that was so horrid to say out loud. And I thought that's how the president manages expectations. We go to war, bad things happen. Did that offend you at all that he said it like that? I guess I was like, at least somebody's saying the honest truth.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say is, it is the truth. It is the consequence of what we're doing in the business that you're in. I don't ever, like I said, I don't want to see anybody get wounded or killed on our side, but at the end of the day, it's just the business that you're in. And you signed up to willing to give your life if that's what it took to defend, what the American values and our way of life, All
right. I've got to go to break. We'll talk about just the technology difference. And you're generations behind me, my boy. I was a forward observer calling artillery rounds with a map, with a wax board and wax pencils, calling it. What they're doing now is awe-inspiring. We'll talk about that after this. I've got him, Jack Zimmerman, on the Al Travis Show.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
Are you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-AL's show.
We've got him, Jack Zimmerman, in to talk about what's going on in Iran. Jack, again, back in my day, you'd call artillery rounds with just a map, a topographical map, trying to find targets you could hit, and then adjusting fire from there, right? So first one goes off, it's off 10 meters, you got to readjust. I don't know about your time, but obviously there were no forward observers, so to speak, because you guys are doing all lasers, right? If you as Jack could put a laser on something, that the bombs could get it, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's when World War II, Al, when you were in and stuff like that time frame.
It's not far off.
It's impressive though, the technology that we had back then. We could see at night, we could do all the things. If you could put a laser on it, yeah, you could blow it up. We could drop mortars on a $1 bill anywhere out there. If you had a good grid, and it's incredible we could do then. It's even more insane to see what we're doing now. But the proficiency that we're doing it at and the level that we're doing it at, it just shows that we're investing in the right things and the right people and the right process. All these missions we're doing, we're being incredibly successful. If you look at what we did the first time we bombed Iran, going in there and knocking out, a bunch of their radars and things like that, and bringing the bombers in. We were the only ones in the world that could do that. You go look at what we did in Venezuela, and now you look at what we're doing now in Iran. It's definitely a message to the world.
Well, because the world's seeing the same stuff we are. And when you see that little X on some building or plane, and we're sending bomb, you just watch it until the bomb hits there and blows it out of the smithereens out of it. It is just nuts. I mean, I know that's not great. It is just nuts. Now I'm under the impression we have hundreds upon hundreds of one-way drones that are loaded with bombs, that we just have some guy sitting in Kansas City somewhere, with his joystick, who's been playing video games his whole life, became a service member, and can literally take out bunkers and that sort of thing without even being on the continent.
Yeah, it's incredible. No matter what, though, at the end of the day, you're going to have some guys on the ground collecting
at some point.
Things like that. No matter how far technology gets or whatever happens, you're still going to have eyes and ears on the ground. And that's where our special operations comes into play. They've probably been in there for a really long time. We've had tons of assets in the area for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And this is a really good time, too, to figure out who your friends truly are. I know that, places in Europe are letting us, use their places to refuel and reload and take off. Well, we should write that down as, friendly, and make a quick list of who's there to help us right now and who's not really giving us the time of day.
Well, Iran's kind of mucking this thing up a little bit. I mean, they got bombed, you go figure. But they're just launching off their missiles and that sort of thing. I heard this morning that Qatar got hit. Now, Qatar is a country that just will not get off the fence, right? They're not going to push anything. They're just in the middle. And now that they've been bombed, they've come out and said, we're done. Get rid of Iran. You know what I'm saying? They're hurting their own neighbors by lashing out. And I don't think it's going to be good for Iran in the long run. I
think that they know the end is near for the regime that they had. And I think it's fire what you got, because this is it, and if the tide turns, the people that are in that country are not going to be friendly towards those people that have oppressed them for so long. And I think they know the end is near. And you have to realize, too, that they probably have very little communication left anymore. It's they're having a really hard time communicating and moving on the battlefield. They're living under constant fear of what's falling from the sky. So I'm sure the tension on the ground in Iran is very high for them.
Well, talk about putting them in a box. If that story you're telling is correct, you can't trust your emails anymore.
Yeah.
Emails are no longer it. You want a pager, Bob? No, I'm not taking a page. You know what I'm saying? They have got them in such a box, just communications-wise, unless they're in the same room, which you don't want to be in the same room, because we find that out, the whole group is gone. It's going to be very tough for them to fight any kind of coordinated effort to strike back.
Yeah, going forward, I think there's going to be a few people over there with some trust issues, and
that's true.
It's great to see that we're able to do this with the success that we have, and I'm proud of all those guys on the ground. I keep them in my prayers every day, and whether we're at war or not, I'm praying for those guys that are willing to take on and go defend this country. And you know what, Al, I'm very impressed with what they're doing, and I'm damn proud to have the American flag on my chest today.
Amen, sir. Amen. Not to make it a financial thing, but you want to read about Jack's story, the last place, Afghanistan, 5 minutes, 300 seconds that changed my life. You want to read a book that gives Jack Zimmerman the right to talk about anything he wants on this program, anytime he wants, and he's an expert on this. Jack, I love having you on the program. I appreciate you being here, my friend. I really do.
I love you, man. Appreciate you.
He's Jack Zimmerman on the Al Travis Show.
At LGH Wealth Management, our mission is to create